1. All right, so we are live with Tech Tuesday Live, and I'm Spencer Reynolds. Welcome, welcome. I see that I have 9 people on so far today. First off, I'd like to show you I'm doing some pretty fun things with a program called Boinks TV, which allows me to do some interesting stuff while we're live here. I can put up live thirds graphics like this. I can put up my logo in the corner. I can then do all kinds of fun stuff with it. And then I can also switch out and do things right with the Ustream producer, which does some pretty neat stuff, but it is nothing like we got going on right here. So if you can see, I am your tech guru. How to use lists on Twitter is one of the questions that I was just asked. Today, I do not have a full-blown list of topic to go over, but I do have a bunch of information that I've got as far as a list of just little tech how-tos and tips, but I'm looking mostly for your questions so that I get stuff answered that you want to have asked, that you want to have answered. So the questions that you've got. So as you go on it, please hit the chat that's right next to this window or right below it. You can be watching this one at QuestioningSuccess.com/live. There you will see the bigger version that you are also able to go full screen if you wanted to. The other option that you have is you can also go to Facebook.com/QuestioningSuccess and click on the My Ustream tab. If you're there, then you got video and chat next to each other. The other option is you could always go out on your iPhone and watch it. Or if you're really cool and you're techie, then you could go out on your iPad and do the chat right there on it. So look at that. You can see, ooh, there's my screen and there's the camera. Isn't that neat? There's my, okay, anyway. So we're going to get going today on a couple of different questions. I will take the tech guru out from underneath me, or should I leave it? You know, that's up to you guys. I'll leave the tech guru just so you can see that that's who it is, yo. All right. First question I have is that I'm going to answer anyway, is I'm going to go to Wayne Joel's question. He asked about using MailChimp to send out an email to that group. So if you've been following along and you've been following up with all the stuff we're talking about, then most likely you have set up your marketing machine or you're well into the throes of doing so. Inside the marketing machine, we talked about setting up an account to have your mail done in. Now, I will tell you that a couple of people who are on this right now, one of which is, he spoke up earlier, Smart Agent. Smart Agent is Michael Duffy or John Esplana. Both of these individuals have a company out there called Smart Agent, which is part of the Work Smart, Be Smart group. And they have an unbelievably killer automated database. So if you are looking for a customer relationship management piece, I would love to tell you more about that. And so would Smart Agent. So you could send me a message about wanting to learn a little bit more about that, where all your content is done for you. All the stuff is automated. It works really, really cool. So if you're going to use MailChimp, that's one version of it. You can also be using Smart Agent for this. And we'll get more and more into Smart Agent as we go throughout these Tech Tuesdays, because it's going to be an integral part of what I'm going to be doing as far as work. So you want to be on the cutting edge of technology. If you're in the real estate world, Smart Agent. If you're in the regular world of normal business, Work Smart, Be Smart is where we're going to be on that. So we'll talk more about that. But let's get into MailChimp right now and just show you how you are going to send a message to a group in your list that you've got. So if you want to go into your own MailChimp account, feel free to go ahead and do that. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go into this Ustream window. I just want to make sure that, yeah, you can see the whole window. Okay, so if we go to MailChimp.com, MailChimp, oh wow, I'm typing really well. MailChimp.com. When you log into your MailChimp account, you're going to have your options for your lists. So everybody hearing me clearly still? I'm gonna make sure I got my status bars all working. Yep, looks like statuses are working. Okay, so MailChimp loading. Okay, so Wayne, here's your main dashboard, and when you come in here, this is for everybody. As you go into your lists, so you can see how many people have how your list has grown over time. It tells you, which ones are deliverabilities. And one of my last ones that I sent out had a 67% open ratio, which is just way good. So anyway, we'll go into your lists over here. And inside of lists, you're going to see that you can create a campaign. So here's Utah County Business and Tech Expo. Here's a blog, business planning, different lists that I've got out there. So let's just go in here inside of this Utah County Business and Technology Expo. Now, inside of this, you can make sure that everybody's in that list. See, I can go in and say view the list, and it will tell me everybody who's there. Now, so I can also go down lower, and inside of this group, I can actually see who opened things, who didn't, who's unsubscribed, all that kind of stuff. But let's go over to actually your campaign. Because if you go into a campaign, this is where you're going to select the list you want to send it to. So we'll just do a very, very simple test campaign here. We'll call it a regular old. This is where you can choose whether you want to do an RSS driven one. This is where you'd set up your blog to automatically go out to everybody. This is just a plain text. This is where you can split your message so one group sees one message and another group sees another to see which one gets better returns. And so here we're in a regular old campaign. Okay. Have you noticed a different open rate between HTML and plain text messages? Paul Dolan asks. You know what? I'm kind of funny in that I just want to use HTML messages. So I know that may be very, very, unbelievable to you, but I think it just looks so much better. I haven't even tried a text message because I don't like it when I get them. And those are the first ones that go in the trash for me because I don't want to sit and read everything. I'd rather have something graphical to look at. So that's just me, but I haven't actually even tested that, Paul. So I don't know if you have. I'd love to hear from you on your responses to that. But okay, so let's say I want to send this out to this Utah County group. Now I can send a segment list if I want, or I can send the entire list. This is where those segments become really nice because it gives you anything that you can add, when they were added, when they're in a certain city or state, if you got that information from them. Most of us don't have that information, so we're just going to send it to the whole list. So when you go in here, you're going to name the campaign, and we'll just call this test. And then getting in touch from the expo is the subject name. Here's the from name. Now let me just tell you a little experience here. I'm going to come back to here, but just real quick so that I can explain what I'm talking about. This list was originally from a group of people that I met and got business cards. One of these, there's actually the stack from that exact business expo that I went to. So these are all small business owners that all had booths or I met at that expo. So what I did is I came back, I set my video camera up over there on the angle, and I recorded a message saying, hey, we met at the expo, exchanged business cards, and I wanted to follow up with you. So in doing that, then I sent them out this, and then I had them added automatically to another sequence that gets them going. But that way they were able to click on the video, see the video, and it went through. And that's the one that I had a 65% open ratio and click ratio. So that's a pretty smoking deal. So that you know that when you are talking to a group of people, knowing where they got that info from is a good thing to know to do first off. So if this is a new list of people, Wayne, that you've just imported, you probably should send them first and foremost a welcome message saying how they got on the list, and that you're going to send stuff in the future. And at any time you don't want to be on the list, go ahead and unsubscribe and you'll be taken off immediately. So that will be one thing. Yes, Michael Duffy just actually commented as well that the open rates are partly dictated by recipients to email clients and type of security and spam filters used. Definitely a big piece of it. So if you have a lot of words like free, all capitalized free, you're going to hit spam filters like crazy. So you'll have a lot of bumps, a lot of bounced emails, and you'll also get a lot of spam. So making sure that you've got, good language in there that's not spammable would be a big, big thing. So another question, have you found a way to import an email template to use as an autoresponder? I know how to import it for use as a campaign, but can't seem to find a way to do it for the autoresponders. Absolutely. You can, if you set up your own template exactly the way you want, and email it to them even. So let's say that you laid out this beautiful HTML page exactly the way you wanted it. You could actually send that page to the email on your MailChimp account, and it will turn it into a list campaign for you. So it will become its own template that you can then use that template to go and send it out. And you can create that as one of your templates and copy and paste all the code and put it into another campaign. So Paul, I hope that makes sense. But if you go into your list, there's a setting for an email address that you can actually send an email to that will create a campaign for it. And then you can use that. And if it's not in the right form, list, campaign, follow-up, autoresponder, whatever, use it on the list, on the campaign, and copy all the code out of it. Then go over to your autoresponder and paste the code in, and it's all there just the same. So I'm more wondering about HTML versus plain text is read on smartphones. I'll do some testing with friends. You know, I have found that it is really well read, well found on my phone. I send every message I ever send out as a test first to me on my number, on my email address, which is then sent to my cell phone. So I do get that, and it looks perfect every time. You can have that option when somebody signs on, sinuses, as to whether or not they want to have HTML, plain text, or mobile friendly, and you can do those separate messages. I find that HTML works almost all the time, so it's not a big issue for me. So, okay, I'm glad that makes sense. Let's go back over here. So here you have your test campaign. You're getting in touch from the expo, the from name. Now I put my name rather than just C. Spencer Reynolds. I actually put it C. Spencer Reynolds with Questioning Success so that they know who I am, maybe even more so with that. And that is the name, by the way, that shows up in your email. So if you know what I mean by that, when you have an email like this, see Jim Hogan right here is actually sent me a message while he's on here. This just says Jim Hogan. If he wanted it to say Jim Hogan with blah, 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 he could put that in his name in the setup of your email. And that's what this name is talking about. So when it comes from somebody like, John Esplana, it could be John Esplana, your mortgage provider or whatever. You could put those names after it, and that's the from name right here. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to you. So that's the from name, the reply to email, and then if you want to personalize the to field. In the to field, once again, that's the same thing. You can actually put their name there. Whereas on here, you're going to see that this is the to field. This right here is to Spencer Reynolds and Michael Duffy. These two right here are the two fields. I can just have it go to their first name. And sometimes that makes a big difference. Other times it makes no difference whatsoever. But having that in like a Gmail, that may make a bigger difference, and it'll show your name up there. So you want to be able to definitely track all the opens, track HTML clicks. I use Google Analytics to track the URLs as well, because all you have to do is click there and put in a test campaign. If you've got your Google Analytics account set up with this account, it's going to show up perfectly inside of all your Google Analytics dashboard. So I do normally use Google Analytics on everything I send out, and then authenticate the campaign is definitely a good idea for spam filters. Now, this is if you want to send a post out to Twitter automatically. It'll Twitter out the same thing you sent, and it will have links so that people can view that HTML or that email online. So there's also some advanced tracking stuff where you can actually, if you use High-Rise or Salesforce, you can actually track it inside of there. So most people aren't going to be messing around with that too much. But we'll go next. So hopefully, Wayne, you've either done this before or this is making sense. We'll just do a 2-column setup. Now, oh, by the way, I'll go back so you can see what that actually meant. Sorry, these are my actual, I went back too far. We'll try that one more time. Sometimes I get clicking too fast. There's templates out here that you can use. I just chose, sorry, I can't go back to, oh yes, I can, change template. Okay. So Paul Dolan, when you were asking about doing this and having the thing, you can save them as my templates. And here's my templates. There's a couple I've been messing around with. I got one that's way better than this that I have not put in here yet, but it is my signature or my email stationery. So this is just one I have. You can do all the pre-designed and the pre-template, the pretty ones for foods or for entertainment or whatever you got. So you can say, I want to send this one. I want to send an inspirational message. So I can choose and say, okay, let's send the Zen message here. So, and now I can go in and change this up. This is the beauty of using, things that are already done. You don't have to do much to them. If you want to do your own custom stuff, you can definitely do that as well. So here's where you're actually going to go in and make your changes. You're going to do all the email wording. Oh, it doesn't show you, does it? Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Sorry, I was like, I can't see it on my screencast. So you're going to change your copy and everything that's going to be inside of there. And this is where you'll make the perfect version of everything you want it to be. then you'll come down here and this is where you're going to send a test. Now when you send a test, I'm going to send one to me so we can see what this looks like. It should look exactly like it just showed up there. And I'll throw this over the top of the window here. See if we can get one of these in. Maybe, maybe not. Was it hit the junk? Nope. TubeMogul was, though. What else here? It's not showing up just yet. All right, well, we'll go back to here. So, Wayne, that's pretty much how you're going to send that out to that test. So, you got your list, you got your group, and then you're going to set that information up just like that. So it's just a regular campaign. Now, if you're going to build the autoresponder, that's a little bit different, and that's where we set that up more in the other screencast that we've done. But hopefully that helps. Let's see. We'll come back here to a camera. I'm going to see what else we got. You've done all that. Your problem is sending the email to the people that you've input. Okay, so why didn't it send it? Would be my question. Let me come back over here, Wayne. And once we get down here, we can then go to next. Once you've made the email, you can copy the plain text over or whatever. Now, see, this is ready to go. So this has the checklist saying, I got 65 people who would receive this email with this subject line, all the replies coming to me, everything's being tracked, HTML's cool, HTML blah, 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 monkey rewards, all that stuff is good to go. All I have to do is hit send now, and it will send that to the whole list. As long as you've got green checks on everything, you're good to go. So have you gotten to this point as well? Have you scheduled delivery or anything like that? Is this the part you're having a problem with? Is it's not giving you the send now option? That would be my question for you, Wayne, because that once you go through that process of building it, all you then have to do is just get to this point, get all checks, and you're ready to sign off. And it will send those messages out for you. So respond back to that one, Wayne. If I hear from you before we move on to the next one, I'll try to keep answering that. It only sends messages to people who sign up. So does that mean that to your list, it's only the double opted in people that it's sending a list to? Because you may have 100 people on the list, but only 60 of them are getting the message because they're double opted in. Is that what you mean? Because I've never had that. All of those 65 people on my list were manually inputted by me on my computer. So I actually opted them in for you. Now, there are some companies out there who've got a real problem with that and not allowing you to just add somebody to your mailing list. They have to double opt in, which means they say yes, and then they get an email, and then they confirm the email. Now they've double opted. They've clicked once, they've clicked twice, and they're a real live person that's part of your list. There are some companies out there that make you do that. And to tell you the honest truth, that's actually a really smart way of doing it, because if you get reported for spam, it really stinks. They can shut your account down pretty fast. So all of my people on that 65 list, though, Wayne, you're saying really every one of those were ones that I put in myself. I just took their business cards. I got a scan snap from Fujitsu, and I take my scanner and scans them all in, and then I pull all the information off with Card Iris is the program I use on my Mac. And then I can click that whole 65 list of people and hit to my address book, and it goes straight to my address book. I actually just take it straight from Card Iris and do an external, an export out of Card Iris. And then I use that as an Excel spreadsheet straight into MailChimp. And that's how I got all 65. There's the 65 people right there that were all on that mailing list, and 65% of them opened it up. So I don't know what to tell you on that other than making sure that they truly are on the list with the right thing. So yeah, you got to play around with it and see if it works for you. I don't know what else to give you on that, but I do know it works. So, okay. Other questions. I saw that Jim Hogan was having a question on Skype. I'm going to scroll up a little bit to find out what specifically Jim Hogan was asking for when it came to Skype. I just wrote down Skype for Jim Hogan. So if we go up here, let's see. Where did you ask that? Anybody has questions, feel free to type them into the chat right now so we can get some questions answered for you. How to find people on Skype is, I think, one of the things that you were talking about. Well, then let's talk first and foremost about yourself on Skype. This goes for everybody, not just Jim Hogan. So, general overview on Skype. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's go over to Skype on my desktop here and see if this makes some good sense for you. So, some of the things that I've been doing with Skype lately are actually, I have bought some Skype credit so that I could then make my caller ID show up as my 683-9595. I use my Google Voice number, by the way. My Google Voice number is 801-683-9595, and that's what I have on my business cards. That's what I use for my Facebook phone numbers. Everywhere I put my phone number now, I use my Google Voice number. And I want to be able to call out on that number and have it show up with that caller ID, which is not the easiest thing to do. You can do it on Google Voice, but if you want to get a Skype subscription for $2.95 a month, you can actually go out and you can get that and dial out calls right through Skype. So that may be something that's good for you. It may not. Depends on the quality of the calls. If you got real high-speed internet or not, that would make a difference. So you see, I got these European credits. Why they have it in European, I don't know. But anyway, my caller ID, see over here, is I now have it show that 801-683-9595. So if I call right now using Skype on my own phone and call my phone, let's see if I can get Skype to show up over the top here. There we go. It's signing in. I just want to show you. So if you're using a subscription like a $3 a month kind of thing with Skype, you can then dial any phone number you want. See, there's Jim Hogan showing up right there. But just right up here, I can type in my phone number. And that is actually my cell phone number. Now check this out. Here's my call. It's dialing out. But look at what it's going to ring in as on my cell phone. This is saying it's ringing in as my number of 801-683-9595. So as I answer that call, it's coming through loud and clear, and this is the mic. So I can use the microphone through my Skype calls and call regular phone numbers for $2.95 a month, unlimited, and have my caller ID show up. Whew. That's kind of a trip having it all work like that. So another thing I will tell you guys about, which if you've never seen before, on my Skype here's my Skype, and I'll bring it back to the normal view. If you can see this little box right here is called Call Recorder. Now, I don't know what you think, but I think this is pretty bad to the bone. This little call recorder right here, what it will do is actually record all the calls that I do when I want to record them on Skype. So video calls, audio calls, any of them work. All I do is go in here. It's a little program that I bought, and right here it puts a new plugin right inside of your Skype program. So I know that this works on a Mac. For all of you on PCs, I'm sorry that you have to endure the world with a PC. You know I would say that though, didn't you? So right here, it can actually encode video or audio on different levels. So the audio I can have on high, I can have it do it in AAC, which is the best. I can video encode in H.264, which is the best compression in my opinion, and then the size. Now here's this thing. This is cool. You can actually have it record 2 tracks. So it records 2 tracks on your video, and then you have this little program that it gives you as well that you drag and drop, and it turns them into 2 audio files and 2 video files that you can then use in your video editing software to totally make a completely customized version of whatever you want, turning up levels, turning down levels, all that kind of stuff. So if you're ever going to do interviews and stuff, this is the bomb diggity for using on Skype. So that's Call Recorder, and I have it set up to automatically record every call. And check this out. It'll bring up all my calls. So here's a Jim Hogan's friend, Vanessa, actually. Now see, when I go out here with Vanessa, this was a video
Spencer
that I did with her.
I am so
So,
sorry. I was running around doing things and
so there was a video conversation that we have that then I can take this and drag and drop it, and it will actually turn into 4 different fields that are all movie files that have audio, video on 2 different tracks. So pretty cool. I mean, see, I got ones like this where I've got my friend that I was talking to with my daughter. So anyway, it's a really cool way, and I have it by default automatically record every call, but you can click on there and come out here and you can tell it not to record on every one of them. But anyway, that would be my favorite use of Skype so far. As far as finding people, I've always found people by their email addresses normally. So I'll just go down here and click and type someone in, and you can do it by. Let me just see if I can find my friend Nate Bruce. I don't think I've ever added him on here, and see, I don't see him as far as out here in Utah. So don't know where he would be. Paul Dolan, are you on here? Paul Dolan. So Paul Dolan. And I'm just trying to see. There's a lot of Dolans. Holy cow. I would never have guessed there was so many Paul Dolans. See, and you know what? I agree with Jim that this is not the easiest way to find people necessarily. We are talking all over the world. That's very true. So, Paul, just type your .com at the end because the URL got removed. So just do the thing and then do a space and dot and a space .com so that it doesn't block it out. Paul Dolan at welendforless.com. So now I can search, and with a real email address, you can normally find anybody real quick. That mortgage guy is that name. Hey, how about that? So now, that's finding people with an email address, Jim. That's probably the best way of going about it. What else? Phones to call. You can set up your voicemail and send SMSs, and you got to have credit to do that kind of stuff. But, you got to buy credit in $10 increments too, which I kind of think is a big bogus thing, but that's just the way it is. But like I said, I did just buy the $2.95 subscription, which is, I think it's a pretty neat deal that they can do it for $3 and be able to call anywhere. So I do use Skype quite a bit, and I use it for video conferences most often. I love iChat on my Mac, but the reality is I can really actually, I like the quality and the recordability of using Skype over iChat. Now, iChat, you can have 4 people in a conference with you, so I can have 3 people out in a smaller video. And as soon as my friend Michael Duffy gets off of his, high horse of his PC world and his piece of crap caught, and I'm just kidding, then I'll be able to have a few people and do conferences on iChat. But regardless, he's going to send a message to me. He just came online in Skype, I'm sure of it. So regardless, you are able to. There said Jim Hogan, as far as this article he sent me, actually showed that they are going to be offering it up to doing voice conferencing from Skype, which to me, I just go, yay, yay. Check this out. Skype to roll out 5-way video calling next week. And that's supposed to be this week. I'm really, 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 really excited about that. And I really can't wait for it. So that's where I got PC envy. I don't think so, Michael Duffy. Okay, so anyway, guys, that's some great stuff coming, at least for Skype. If you don't use Skype, okay, here's what we need to do now. Let me bring it back to my camera. I'm sitting here doing these motions in front of the camera, and you couldn't even see it, so I got to bring it back. Okay, so when it comes to using Skype, hopefully you do use it. Hopefully you've got a good Skype name. Mine's real easy. If I am not on your Skype list, add me now. My name is Spencer Reynolds. How hard is that one? So SpencerReynolds, the whole SpencerReynolds not .com, but just Spencer Reynolds is my Skype name. So you could always look me up by Spencer at QuestioningSuccess.com for an email address, but Spencer Reynolds is my Skype name. So you can go ahead and add me as a friend there on your Skype list. But here's what I want to show you. I want to show you some of the stuff you can do with putting Skype on your website so that people can get a hold of you. Because if you're like me and you keep Skype open most of the time, I keep it open almost all the time, then you can do some things here. Every version of your name was taken, then you got That Mortgage Guy. Well, That Mortgage Guy is not a bad name either, Paul Dolan. Okay, so let's go back over to my screen. I want to show you some of these things. So if you are in your account, features, I don't think features is what I'm looking for. It's not. I'm trying to think of where that back end stuff, they got a whole thing that talks just about widgets and putting widgets on your account. Let's see if it's in here. Well, the best part is you go to help and you say widget. That's the way I do everything. I go to the help screen, ask the question, get my answer. Okay, open up sound widgets, microphones, step-by-step help guide. I'm not seeing exactly what I'm looking for. Well, if anybody knows where you find it at, use Skype. Let's see if use Skype's where it's at. Skype in 60 seconds. Wi-Fi hotspots, connection fee. Make HD calls. By the way, if you do have an HD camera, I'd love to have you call me one of these times. I want to see what it's really like, if it's really that much better or not. I don't know that it really is that much more amazing or not. I've looked at buying an HD webcam for about $100. They have them made for Mac that work really, really well from what I understand, but I don't quite know. You know what, guys? I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. There are some really great ways of doing some widgets that then you just put this little code. You know what? Maybe I'll just type it up here. Skype widget for website. Skype me widget dashboard. There we go. Well, we can use this one. So these are actually pretty cool. You can show your status. You can show a Skype me. Yeah, I'm sure that the webcams for the PC are cheaper than the Mac. Of course, that would be the way it is. And you shall burn for your comments in your PC world. Okay, no. So anyway, you got these Skype little status widgets and things like that where then people can click on it and call you immediately. So when you have these little Skype buttons or boxes, all you do is you say you want to get the widget. Here's a widget code, and here's the script you use, and it comes up and it uses your username. Anyway, if you want to put it in Facebook, ooh, you could do it at Facebook? I got to see this. Oh, it's just saying I can share it on Facebook. That's not what I'm looking for. Anyway, there is the widgets you can do. Then you just add them right to your website. It'll tell you how to put it on like a WordPress blog so that you do this JavaScript text, you copy it, and that's all it really takes. So you put the little Skype button on, and then when they click it, it starts calling you. So if you're going to be using Skype on a regular basis, I would really recommend getting the widget installed on your blog so that when people are there, they can click the button and it'll call you immediately. Just making it easy for people to get a hold of you. If you use Google Voice, that's another one that you could use Google Voice and have the call me button, which if you've never seen that work before, it's really pretty cool. You go there and it's got a button that says call me. You click on the call me button. It comes up and says what phone number, and it asks you for your phone number. You put the phone number in, hit send. Your phone rings like that, and it connects us both just like that over Google Voice. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, Jim Hogan, the help menu from the desktop application, widget in the help. I think that should do it. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So you go to the desktop application, widget in the help there, and it gave it to you there. Cool. So anyway, putting the widget out there, I think, is one of the ways to really start using Skype. If you're going to use Skype, do it for all intents and purposes all the way out. So no point in doing anything less than the coolest thing you can do with it. So using some widgets. Okay, what else have we got? Lists on Twitter. How to set up lists on Twitter and what are they used for? Now, I am not the absolute best person to tell you about this. I can tell you that right now. Because I have looked at the lists. I have thrown a few people in lists, but I don't quite understand what they're for. I think from what I understand them, and I should ask my friend Alex to come on here again, and we could do a whole thing about effective uses of Twitter like that. If you missed the number 12, Tech Tuesday 12, I did it with a guy named Alex Lawrence, who built a company based on Twitter called TwitJump, and then he sold that off. But anyway, the lists, from what I understand, is a way for me to just separate people inside of what I'm going to talk to them about or what they're for. So, lists, I'm guessing that if you send, we can go look at it real quick, but it's not something that I really know too much about. So I don't want to pull the wool over your eyes and act like I do. But if we go out to Twitter, log into the account, you can see that on I believe on my QuestioningSuccess commercial version, my business one, in QuestioningSuccess, I believe I got a couple of lists set up there. And inside those lists, see, I got 2 people listed just because I threw them there. So I listed, see, there's lists that follow me and lists that I follow. And see, I could put people into small business or into the network marketing, the MLM version of my products. And that's what I made these for. But I have no real concept of why they are used. So I'm going to put a big star by that one, Jim, because I'm going to find out more about it because I think it's probably valuable. Otherwise, they wouldn't have them, right? They could have all kinds of things. And if they're going to spend the amount of resources it takes for Twitter to put something like that together, then I would guess it has some merit. So, did any of you see the tip I put up on my blog and then I posted it to Facebook and YouTube that was called Google Maps, as far as some cool stuff you can do with embedding like a specific thing for your business for a map on Google? Did anybody see that? Put it in the chat if you did see that, because I don't need to go over it. We only got 15 minutes or so left inside of Tech Tuesday time here, but I'd love to show you that because it's really, really pretty cool. If you go out to Google Maps, you can actually make your own map. You can highlight your business on it. Then you can embed that actual map inside your website, so that when someone goes to your Contact Us page or About Us page and they click on the map, it will bring up the map of just your business highlighted on the map. So any of you, I see a couple of you saying, yeah, you saw it, but let's just go over there real quick and do a real fast on this, because I think it's pretty valuable for business owners to make sure that you've been able to, number one, get your business up there, and then number two, be able to highlight your business. Okay, let's see. It's a little bit off from where my home is. We're getting closer. Now I'm way off. Okay, anyway, let's look for QuestioningSuccess. Now see, QuestioningSuccess, boom. Because I have set that up, check out that map, right? That's pretty cool to be able to go in and I can zoom in or out as far as I want to show people that if I wanted to zoom it out a little bit, then it shows that I'm right between Salt Lake City and Layton, and I'm in the city of Centerville. If I want to zoom in on it further, I can zoom all the way down to dang near street level and be able to use that map right there as my actual map to put on my website. So if I now go out and say I want to link to this, you can iframe the map in if you want, and that is a pretty cool it'll show you exactly what that looks like. There's your iframe embed, so that it will look like that. You can make it small or medium or large, or you can choose the size you want it to be. That's one way to frame it in. The other way is to actually go out here and send this to someone. Now, when you want to send this, oops, I want to go back here. See this source right here? That's the link you want to link to without taking that last HTML tag. So if I have that link, all I'm going to do is copy this link. Now, if I put a link on my blog to say map of where my office is, then all you have to do is when you click on that map, it's now going to put this huge long code in. You hit enter, and that's exactly what it takes you to, is the page that I wanted, including up here, my listing, which says Questioning Success, my address, the phone number, and check it out. I got 4 reviews. Now, I got to tell you, I don't know how these reviews showed up. A couple of these reviews I know look like they came from LinkedIn. But check this out. Talk about cool stuff. When you can go out and put a testimonial video, you can put your welcome video and your logos out here. And then this goes through and shows you a picture of the front of my house, puts my logo, puts the map, all these things. And you can search by what's closest. It says that there's a transit stop a half a mile from my house. So if you're going to ride the bus, you'll know to get on the 470. And anyway, got emails, what we do, and then check it out. 4 reviews. So by the way, if you're watching this right now, go to maps.google.com and then click on the reviews and then write me a review. There's at least 11 of you out there right now. And Wayne, I can see, has done one right there. And look at that. See, just by having Wayne having his own profile, it's now selected and it's tying him to me, which then gives him even more stuff so I can go and check out his blog or his website just like that. So check it out. There he goes. And he's got his social media revolution. That's one of my favorite videos. So anyway, great job, Wayne. Nice blog. So anyway, you can see how, those who are on here, Randy, this is my buddy Randy Smith, and he has got, at least he's got his stuff in here, and you can connect with him on Facebook and connect on LinkedIn. And then you can see things like this. Watch. Jay Woo, the kind of, she doesn't have her blog or her profile set up inside of Google. And then neither does Kristen. So guys, you want to see with what Kirsten and Jay have on here, not having that compared to these up here where they do have that info. You want to start writing reviews when you stop by places or you go to people's offices and you're doing stuff, then send them a little note saying, hey, guess what? I just wrote a review on your Google info and I thought you'd like to know that. So you can see how mine's an owner verified listing. That means it's a real one that I've put in the right place and everything's cool with it. So to me, I think that's huge, huge, huge. Okay, you also thought it was great that I introduced blank in your Google Map video, much better than tiny URL. Oh yeah, Bitly. I introduced Bitly. So if you have never been to Bitly, it's spelled bit.ly like that, without the spaces. Bitly's pretty awesome because what you can do is you can actually find out how many people have clicked on your little links. So if you use a URL shortener, Bitly's a really, really good one to use. See, check this out. Maps for real estate professionals. This was a link that I put out on Facebook, and I now know that I had 18 people who clicked on that link to go see that actual map that was inside the link that I put on Facebook. So pretty cool, I think, that you can track everything and see exactly how many people have done it, and see they clicked on it to go watch the video that was right here on my own website. So if you haven't gone and seen that, you may want to check that out. If you're in real estate, definitely go look at this because this is how you put your links up and everything else. So definitely a worthwhile deal. Any other questions we got? I'd love to help anybody else out with any other questions, tech answers. What do you think? Are my lips still so far off? I know for the rest of it, I've been on screenshots, so it really didn't matter. But if it looks pretty good, this may be a good way of doing it because I think I'm going to put some fun video stuff and twists and turns and all that cool stuff that I can do inside of this new program. So See, I mean, watch this. If I made my own little intro, check this out. Woo! Cool, huh? Anyway. Okay. Help with Mozy backup. So you are using Mozy. All right, Christine, what I think about those is most of the time you set them up and they just work. Are you using it on a Mac or a PC? Your hard disk crashed last week. Ouch. Is that on a PC or was that on a Mac? I do know they crash on both. So are you trying to restore it from Mozy? Mac. Do you have it out there and it's already on, or now you're just saying, now I want to be back there? Okay, so you're trying to restore it. I have not used Mozy. I have a free 2 gig account like I'm sure everybody else does, but with HostMonster it came with a 2 gig thing. I don't know the actual ways of doing that. I'm sure I could look it up and figure out a few things of it. But here's what I will tell you. If you are, I don't know how much, did you pay for that? And how much did you pay? You have a 256 gig to restore. Wow. Okay, so you are using the same thing that I use for this. I use, and I'll show you this on my website here. I'll switch over here. I use these guys. This is Carbonite. And Carbonite and Mozy are pretty close to the same thing. With Carbonite, it does the same. It backs up everything on my entire computer. So, the best way is Carbonite. You hate Carbonite. Oh, well, you know, we all have our thing. So, anyway, I don't know of the processes. All I do know is... Yeah, Rockwell's going, hey, good luck with that. I will tell you this. I do have a friend who did a backup with Carbonite, and it did take them forever because you do have to download everything. So it's going to take you, you know, a week to download everything. You'll go back to India. You know, when it comes to it, I mean, here's what I get. And maybe if you already hate Carbonite, you already know what Carbonite does, but when I have it in here, I click on Carbonite and it will tell me what I've got backed up. I'm like you. Yeah, you see Paul's got 300 gigs on his. I got 256 gigs on mine. So it's only got about 2 gigs to back up right now. But see, I bought a 3-year plan with Carbonite and I just have everything there. Now, if you don't need everything right now, Rossi, I would just say only get the stuff you need. I would imagine they allow you access to each certain file inside your system. So only download the ones that are absolutes right now, and then let it download its thing in the background for a long time. Yeah, it's smart to do it, just like Michael Duffy's telling you there, do it in chunks over time. I'll tell you, one of my best friends from high school, she ended up buying a Mac, and it was brand new, big 24-inch Mac, and then the hard drive went out. And they took it back, they put a brand new hard drive in it, and I know all you PC people are going to just eat this alive, but they put a brand new hard drive in it, they brought it home, they did a restore, and it took them, a week or two from Carbonite bringing down, I don't know, it was 100 gigs worth of actual pictures. So they had backup of everything, thank goodness. But then it took them all this time to download it, and then the hard drive crashed on that again. And they were so mad. They took it back, and anyway, they got on the manager at the Apple store, and they were squeaking loud enough. Her husband's an anesthesiologist. He's like, I don't have the time to deal with this crap. I'm a doctor. I don't have time to deal with this. That's why I bought this computer. And anyway, they ended up giving him a brand new 27-inch Mac as a replacement for it. So there you go. Customer service works with Mac. So the good news is that you have the backup. Everybody's going to have problems with hard drives. That's just the way it works. I've had so many go out over the years. Making sure you got a real high quality drive for a backup drive. And I will tell you this, Rossi, all my most important files I have in 4 places. So, Carbonite's got a copy of them. My computer's got a copy of them. I sync it to Dropbox as well. And then I have .mac as well. And the most important ones, like my photos, are all backed up on my external Time Machine drive as well. So I do have an external drive on this computer right here that's a gig or a terabyte drive. but I got a terabyte drive in my computer too that I got 800 and some odd gigs of stuff already in, because I got a ton of video in here that I do need to just go through and clear out. But having the backup, at least you got that, right? I mean, you can get it all back out, but make sure everybody listening to this that you do have a service like a Carbonite, like a Mozy, like one of those that backs up all your most important stuff on the internet. Because if I were to have a fire tomorrow and everything burned down here, I would be screaming, crying, pissed off, mad that all my books got burnt, because you can see that books are my biggest thing. But, insurances can replace the computers and all that stuff, but all your data and all your pictures and photos and all that stuff, if you don't have that out there on the internet somewhere, it's so worth $50 a year to have something like that. Okay. You think you can order a CD? I do think you can. I've heard that as well. They will put it on DVDs for you. So that may be a good option. Definitely get Dropbox. Okay, and those of you who do use Macs, by the way, if you've ever had files disappear for you on your iDisk, which is your cloud for Apple, because I sync between 3 computers and my iPad and my phone and all that stuff, all access iDisk, every once in a while, I'll put files out there that just disappear into the ethos and I don't know where they ever end up. That is why I use Dropbox now. I think if Apple were smart, Apple will buy Dropbox and make that part of .Mac, because .Mac is really expensive for what you get. I don't think it's all that worth it anymore. If I was buying a new Mac now, I don't know that I would buy .Mac. I would actually pay for the bigger service with Dropbox and get a good Skype account, because that'll do everything you can do on your iChat. So, or with your your Apple ID with your .Mac account. What about Mobile Me? Well, Mobile Me is brilliant and it's beautiful and I use it. And if you ever want to send me an email to that email address, nobody ever knows it because it's like my personal one. My CS Reynolds and I have Spencer Reynolds at me.com, but it's CS Reynolds at mac.com is my Mobile Me address. But I use that very specifically just for me. My wife uses hers, Trisha Reynolds at mac.com, for everything. I use Gmail because I use Google Apps. The reason I do that, it's push, it's free, and it's the bomb. And if you start using a lot of space, like I have one account that is my backup account that and here's another one. This is for everybody. If you use Gmail, go out right now and set up another Gmail account and just call it, Spencer Reynolds Backup at Gmail. You would want to use your name, not mine, but use a new Gmail account and then send a copy of every message from every email address that you have to that email account. Because what it does is it creates a backup system for every email you receive from anywhere online, and you've got all of them in one spot. My Spencer Reynolds Gmail account, which is my backup account, I just had to, today, I haven't been there for a long time, but I went in there this morning and I had to archive. I had 10,000 emails in my inbox. So I'm now over like 70,000 emails in my system that I can search through Google search that fast on Gmail. For any email that anyone's ever sent me, every one of them send a copy to that email address and back up everything. So if somebody says, oh, I sent you that back on this date, if I don't have it in my box, which I normally keep a lot of stuff anyway, I can always go to that email address, look it up and go, nope, it was never received, because it's absolutely every piece of email I get goes through that account. And on that account, I'm up at like almost 50% of my allowable space. But, you got to have a lot of emails before you're going to max out a Gmail account, I think. And I think they kind of keep adding it. And I mean, now they've found that they can get a revenue model of, you pay for 25 gigs of space for $50 a year and all that good stuff. And that gives you more space for your pictures on Picasa and all that. But definitely have backups for emails. Definitely have backups for all your stuff on your computer. So that kind of led us off on a path, but I think a really important one, because you get to see. Oh, wow. I thought here this whole time I was talking to you. I just realized that I was showing you my screen the whole time. I've been motioning to the camera. So the HD version will have all that good stuff and you'll get to see that. So you'll want to go get those. Anyway, so as far as Mobile Me goes, yeah, there's some good things about it. I can do all my calendars now through Google. I can do all my email through Google. I can do all my documents through Dropbox. I don't see a reason to keep it. I have the family plan, so I got 5 user accounts for $179. It just renewed a month ago, but my wife uses it for her main account. So that's just part of, I call that my Trisha's fund, because I wouldn't use it anymore, but because she uses it as her main address on her iPhone and for everything that she does, it's worth keeping. So, okay, what else here? I should be Italian. I know, I got to eat with my hands. I got to do everything with my hands. Oh, by the way, I made a really cool cooking video. If any of you are into cooking at all, I made chile verde this last week for Cinco de Mayo on the day after. Oh my gosh, it was the best chile verde you have ever dreamed of eating. And I did a step-by-step video with cameras, the whole bit. It is so cool. So I'm going to be posting that one out pretty soon. I got to have some time to edit it all, but all the shots and everything worked out really cool. So anyway, I do love to cook. That's one of my favorite things. I'm going to go make some bread here in the afternoon when we get done. Let's see what else. Hey, we're running out of time, but I was wondering which form of post gets displayed more in your links on Facebook. That's right, you did ask that. The ones that get the most displayed are the ones that get talked about. I put stuff out there, and if it never gets touched, never gets responded to, nothing happens. It doesn't show up in news feeds. But if you have a few people who like it, hey, that's why we talked about the like button last week, is because that's really important. The more people who like it, comment on it, they start showing up, and it's kind of like Google. How do you get to the top of Google? Well, you get a lot of Google juice around it. Same kind of thing happens on Facebook. The more Facebook juice you get around it, the more it works for you that way. So, I think, I'm trying to think of, as I look at places that what gets showing up on my Facebook wall. I mean, you think about it, I've got 2,250, 260 people now, a lot. But check it out. Let me just show you what. So you think that one favor more than the other? Well, let's look at my page, because this is a good representation. When you talk about having 2,000 plus people, which ones show up on my page? Well, here we go. There's a video, and see, she's got one person liking it and then 2 comments. So here's the one thing. As soon as you put a video out, comment on it. Somebody says a comment, respond to it immediately and say, hey, thanks for responding. That way there's 2 comments that show up on your video. Nate Bruce was another one. You know him, Rockwell. See, then here's just a regular one that I don't know why hers showed up, was the housing trends for May 2010. That's just a gal that I do some coaching for. Riley got picked up from his lunch that he put out. Sunny, because she joined some groups. If you got a few people who join a group that all show up, that's one way. Mike Munzig, I actually have got to get a hold of this guy here. He was my 2,222. So he was 22 of the clients who joined, and I have yet to even talk to him about that. So yeah, you can see that it really, I don't know if it has any rhyme or reason to it as to why things show up and why they don't. I see that obviously some of the media ones are going to show up better. See, there's Wayne Joel with his. But you see, once again, Bill liked it. He made a comment on it. And then Joel came back immediately with a comment right after it when he posted it. So there's the point of, getting those things out there. Obviously, things that I comment on are also showing up for me on my news feeds. But yeah, I don't know which one, because they do just say top news, so who knows what top news is. And if anybody can find anything out like that, I'd love to know, because then I'll talk about it and tell you more about it. But I think media is going to be showing up more as far as putting a picture up, putting a video up is going to be more than just your status posts. I very rarely ever see status posts. If I click on, most recent, then yeah, I'll get status posts from people. But I very rarely do that. The only ones I ever take note of are the ones that show up. So I can understand what you're saying, Rockwell, that you want it to show up in the news feeds. But it's also going to come down really to how many people that person has tagged to them, because it's going to be so randomized. Because if you show up on mine, that's going to be, that's going to be a pretty big deal, because of 2,200 other people who may show up that are posting from all over the country, or all over the world for that matter. So, it comes down to, I think, a lot of, can you get people to comment on what you're doing? Anytime you've got something that's got 4 or 5 comments, those always show up on news feeds. So, I'll have people out of nowhere who will put a comment on something several days later because it did show up on their news feed later, because I mean, I look at some of these posts on here and, some of them showing up from days ago as I'm scrolling down my list. Yeah, I've got several of them that, show up May 7th and stuff where it's like, that was 3 days ago and it's on my news feed right below the next section. So it totally depends on what you're posting, how many people like it. You know what I can't wait for? Here's what I can't wait for. I cannot wait until Facebook does actual video comments. That's what I want. I really want video comments. So if anybody knows anybody at Facebook, that's the thing I want. I want video comments because I want to be able to have somebody say something and then be able to comment back with a video rather than just be able to type it. Of course, I can always record them a video, but not the same. Any other questions? My friend Jarrett Gucci, I don't know if he was on here today or not. I didn't see him do any comments, but he showed me a really cool one. And if you haven't seen how to do this, it's really, really cool. You can send a message to people with a video by putting your Facebook link to the video in your message. Do you want to know what I mean by that? This is the last thing we got to go. I got to go get kids in carpool here in a second, but check this out. I think this is really valuable. I now do this as a new habit for me for every single new person who adds me. So I don't have any new people right now. Let me see if I added anybody just since I recently did this. So the last person was Angelina. So Angelina sent me a request. So send Angelina a message. I think I already did one to her, so I better go check real quick. So anytime somebody adds me, I go out here in my sent messages. Let's see if she was the last one. I do not actually see Angelina as one of my messages. So, cool. I'm going to go do it for her anyway. So, if I go back out to my profile and I see who the latest person was that added me as a friend, what I'm doing now is I've set up keyboard shortcuts. And if you use a program like Text Expander on a Mac, there's also a Typinator, really great programs that you can type in a short stroke of keys and it will type a whole message out. So I can send her a message, and watch this. I send her a message of TFC, which is thanks for connecting, and then I do TTFC, and it puts up this little message saying, I want to send you this message. I'd love you to like my company, and here's my company link. Thanks. And now it's got this link right here, which is my video. I then take this out. So I click down here and I take this out, and now check it out. Here's my video on top of this message, and when I click send, she's now going to get a private message to her. I used to write on people's walls saying, hey, thanks for connecting. But I think this is even more powerful because it actually sends her this message so that when she goes in, check out what the send message looks like. So here's the sent message, and this is what it looks like for her. She comes in and it's got this, hey, I wanted to send you a message saying thanks for connecting here on Facebook. I wanted to get to know you better. I have a question for you. Please watch this video I recorded for you. And I'd love you to like my company site here as well. Then she clicks on this, and here's my HD video. Just for her, it looks like.
Thanks for becoming my friend here on Facebook. You know, an interesting thing happens when we're on social networking and we connect with people.
So anyway, I go through and I do a little welcome message to everybody. And you can actually find my welcome video if you go to my profile and you go into my videos. That's where you're going to find my welcome video right there. See, thanks for connecting. So if you go in and see all my 87 videos, that's one of them. I used to have an old one that was out here. Is way back, way back in the day. But you could search through and find my old one that I had that was my black suit and black background and stuff that I did there. But anyway, there it is. I just passed it. So you have the video. All you do to get the video code is you go over here and you say that you just take this code right here. You take the head of the page and copy and paste that into a message in Facebook. Jarrett put a video out there on YouTube talking about how to do that and send a message to your new people. And I went, yes, that is the bomb. So anyway, hopefully that helps you. That's a great little tip. We had some other real good tips. If you have any others, I'd love to know what they are. Send me a message on Facebook so I can get back to you on them or post them on the wall. If you do post them on the wall, I may not see them because Facebook sucks with their walls with when it comes to Facebook fan pages, and you have to go out and actually look at them. So I do go out and look on my Questioning Success wall quite a bit, but not as much as I do anything else. So send me a message and then we'll post it out there. Okay, everybody, I got to go get kids from carpool. Everybody else have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And I wish I actually had done my own credits, like that I had done my, all my editing, all the, everything was all me, because then I could run this. I produced it. I directed it. I was the assistant. I was the executive producer. It's all about me. Actually, next time I'm gonna do some fun ones on there just so you can see whose names show up and you start looking for them and you stay till the end. Okay. I think we're good to go. Have an absolutely wonderful day. And I think I'm done. I just saw this said log in to select a channel, but I already have 8 viewers, so I'm guessing I've been going the whole time. One-man band. Rock on. You got questions, please send them over. Love to hear from you. See you. Bye.